Bonjour, j'espère que vous allez très bien. Aujourd'hui, on va commencer avec le pronotonique. We've already started with pronom personnel. We've covered pronom sujet, pronom direct, pronom indirect, on, and this is the last one, which is pronotonique. So let's quickly see this. First thing that we need to see is the table of pronotonique. And how does it go? Moi, toi, lui, elle, nous, vous, and elle. So this is the table of pronotonique. As far as the usage is concerned, pronotonique is used only with person. Now this is also used with person, and do you remember we've already done one pronoun which was also used for person, and which were those pronouns? Très bien, COI. Okay, so COI was also used with person. So how are we going to differentiate? With COI, it was the preposition a. Okay, the preposition a and all the forms of a. But pronotonique, it can be any preposition. Okay, all the prepositions except a. Okay, and then few exceptions are always there. Alright, with A also it's used, but there are exceptions. So this is something that you need to remember. Till now, what you were doing, COD, COI, E and O, all of them were placed. Where was the placement? It was somewhat around the verbs. Okay, so if it was present tense, it was before the first verb, passé composé, before the first verb. If it is two verbs, where second is an infinitive, which will be in between. But pronotonique will be after the preposition. After the preposition. In COI, E and O, we generally remove the preposition. Okay, but here preposition will be there. So let's see one example. J'achète. You can also note down in the notebook along with me. J'achète des fleurs pour ma mère. Can you see? Can you see the hints of pronotonique? There is a preposition, okay, but it's not a. The word is underlined after the preposition. This is also something that we can see, okay. And preposition is not underlined here. When it's not underlined, that means you are supposed to write it down in the sentence. So, j'achète des fleurs pour ma mère. I'm buying some flowers for my mother. And how are we going to replace? J'achète des fleurs pour elle. So this is one of the major usage of pronotonique, that it's used after the preposition. We also have other usages. For example, it's also used with say and ce sont. This is also very common. If I say, I'll give you one example. If I say Peter. Okay, but say and ce sont should be followed with person. So if I say Peter, what will be my answer? Say Louis. And similarly, if it is say Sophie, say elle. Okay, so this is also one of the other usage of pronotonique. One more other usage is comparison. It's also used for comparison. For example, je mange beaucoup de chocolat je mange beaucoup de chocolat, or maybe you can also say je mange plus de chocolat. Okay, we can use this for comparison. Je mange plus de chocolat que ma sœur. Okay, so I eat more chocolates than my sister when we're using it for comparison. Okay, so je mange plus de chocolat qu'elle. Okay, so these are the usages of pronotonique. Number one, it's used after the preposition, wherein we are talking about person. Preposition will be there and tonique will be placed after the preposition. Okay, the next usage is with say and ce sont. The next one is for comparison. Comparison, how are we going to know that it's comparison? In the sentence, it will be que. Okay, this means than. I eat more chocolates than my sister. So this is about pronotonic. If you can see, I've written here, it's used with all the preposition except a. So a is also there, but in few exceptions. What are those exceptions? Especially you need to remember ponse verb. That is very, very common. This verb means to think and it is always followed with a preposition. Okay, so whenever this verb is there, it will always be tonique. Je pense à ma mère. This is one of the very big example of, exception of pronotonique. Je pense à ma mère. The replacement will be je pense à elle. Je pense à ma mère. Je pense à elle. I'm thinking about her. So this is about pronotonique. There are still more exceptions of pronotonique with the R ones that I'm going to share in my next video, along with an exercise which will be a mixed question of all the pronoun. Now that we have covered all the prono personnel, I want you to practice it in your notebook again and again so that you're thorough before you begin with my mixed question. Take care, all the best, au revoir. I'm going to see you in the next video.